What is up, everybody? I'm just out for a rip. Washed the bike up. I got a little dirty. It rained pretty bad yesterday. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you guys my 100% honest review on my 2020 MT-09. So, let's get into it. So, as I get into this, you know, I'm going to be completely honest. Right from the get-go, I'm just going to say I love this bike. Alright? However, I will tell you a few things that I dislike about it. I'm not going to nitpick this thing to death. You know, a lot of these reviews, these people just, you know, I don't like the way that, you know, I don't like the way this bolt looks, you know, just, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to be completely honest here about the bike. I've done, I don't know, your basic mods, you know. The stock seat on these bikes are super uncomfortable. I got the comfort seat, like frame sliders, bar end mirrors, because the stock mirrors are god ugly, you know. I got the TST turn signals and set up, same with the integrated rear tail light. Brake levers, you know, just kind of the simple stuff, you know, this little windscreen, you know, just all the common stuff that everybody puts on the bikes. The only thing that I haven't done is a full exhaust system and flash my ECU. So I'm not going to get into that. I do have a slip-on exhaust, which sounds great. It's a cheapo, nothing fancy about it. However, I will be doing a full exhaust system and flashing the ECU probably this winter. So right out the get-go, let's just get on the bike and get into it, and we'll start talking about it. So right off the bat, man, you sit more upright on the bike. With the comfort seat, it kind of raises my seating position, I don't know, inch or two, no big deal. I also have heated grips because I'm kind of a bitch, so I try to ride all year round if it's not raining. So this is your dash. You're gonna have your modes. Right now it's in A mode with traction control 2. And then you have traction control 1, and then you can hold this up, and traction control will come completely off. The difference between 1 and 2, 1 will assist you when it starts losing traction, like in a corner or something like that. It cuts power. And then like 2, it'll register like when the front tire comes up. So it does the same thing as traction control 1, except for you cannot wheelie. It will not let you wheelie. You can try all day long. It'll just cut the power and keep the front end down. You also have B mode, standard, and A mode. Most of I don't know, these modes, the biggest difference being is mostly throttle response. So you got just simple, you know, your lights, your high beams, you got a flasher right here, your blinkers, your horn, just your standard stuff. So like I said, I can go into this and I can tell you what I don't like about this button or whatever. I'm not going to do that. If you're watching this video, you probably are already looking into these bikes. So now, to switch any of your modes or your traction control, so your modes, you can be rolling, but the throttle has to be closed to be able to switch your modes. Your traction control, you have to be at a complete stop. So I'll just do traction control 1 for now. A lot of the times I have it on traction control off when I'm doing wheelies and stuff. Traction control 1, it will let you wheelie, but when you like clutch up, it almost reads that back tire is starting to like slide a little bit or something, so sometimes it messes with you. And I'm gonna keep it in A mode just because I like that throttle response. I've gotten used to it. When I started riding the bike, I was in traction control 2 and in B mode to get used to the bike, and I recommend that for anybody that doesn't know this bike. So let's take off. Let's get going. Alright guys, so this bike, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty wicked machine. And I'm gonna watch these people. And it's got the power. just a pull to third. And I also have the quick shifter on here. So the bike does come stock with the quick shifter if it's not in the States. However, in the States, it does not come with the quick shifter, but it has the plug-in and everything. So all you have to do is buy your quick shifter, put it on, plug it in. I can't remember the exact sequence. You gotta like hold a button or turn the key or some shit like that, and it registers and it gives you this little quick shift light, and that's it. You're good to go. And putting this quick shifter on this bike has completely changed the bike, and it's absolutely amazing. So I guess a big thing that a lot of these guys talk about in their reviews when it comes to this bike is it a good beginner bike? Honestly, if you've never rode motorcycles before, you're learning, you know, you're still developing a disciplined throttle hand, you're still learning, you know, the clutch, the stops and goes, and blah, 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 blah. If you're that new, absolutely not. This bike is not one for that. The best way that I can explain this bike is like your 450 dirt bike, in the way of like a newer 450 dirt bike, where it's just, you know, whop, you know, super torquey, very responsive, you know, in the throttle. And you would never put anybody that doesn't know how to ride a dirt bike on a 450, right? Or typically not a good idea. However, if you grew up riding dirt bikes, that's a sweet car. But if you grew up kind of like riding dirt bikes, you know, you already know how to use a clutch, you already know how to shift, you know all of that stuff, and you want to get one of these, I probably wouldn't tell somebody to do so. However, people do it all the time, so I'll leave it at that, right? I'll just leave that there. I do, however, have, switch it, almost 5,000 miles on the bike, and I love this bike. I love it. It's super nimble, especially when you get into the corners and you start, you know, hitting the twisties. Very, very twitchy, very, I don't know, throttle response is there, you know. I'm also in A mode, but, you know, it goes. It's a monster, you know. It's just a really big dirt bike is the way I like to explain it. If you're going to be doing a lot of commuting, maybe on the freeway, honestly, I don't think this bike would be for you, honestly. But honestly, guys, for the price point for this bike, you get a beautiful machine, and in my opinion, one of the better looking bikes. I'm one of those people, I love all bikes. I love cruisers, I love sport bikes, I love all of them. Just name it, you know, I love them. I have the respect for all of them. However, these nakeds like this is just, that's my cup of tea. That's what I like. And for the price point, oh, what are they? I think they're like 8 or 9 grand brand new out of the box. You know, you're signing the papers, you get I think on paper, I haven't dynoed mine, but I think on paper they're supposed to have like 110 or 115 horse. I think you get like 65 or 70 foot-pounds of torque, and it's fucking amazing. I mean, there's people that, you know, you can get a knee down on these bikes, and however, I can't do that. I'm not that good, but they're amazing bikes. The power, the inline 3 with the crossplane crank, it's just got such a orgasmic sound to it. Now, I guess I can talk about kind of maybe the things I dislike about the bike. The fuel gauge, the little fuel gauge you get right here, is completely, well, I guess it's not just right there, it's in the tank itself, obviously, but the whole system there is junk. And what I mean by that is I can cruise around. I think I get like roughly, I don't know, 100, 120 to a tank or something like that, 120 miles to a tank. I can fill up, my gauge will say full until I get to about half a tank left, and these bars start dropping off real fast. So it's not like super accurate of what's going on. It's really weird. Also, you're also spending 8 or 9, I don't know, yeah, like 8 or 9 grand on a bike, which is more of a lower budget sport bike, as you will, or naked. So, I mean, can you really complain that much? All I do most of the time is I reset my trip every time I ride, and I know roughly when I need to start filling up. This thing gets it. We won't get too cocky with this wet road, so I think you guys get the point. Ooh, yeah. See, I don't like this stuff. Now, it's also really weird that you'll hear a lot of people say that these things are really popular. And they are. On paper, they are. Honestly, I've seen around my area, I think I have personally seen maybe 2 of them. Maybe. One being an older one, 2014, I believe. I think that's the first year they started coming out with them. So it's got like the single headlight, kind of like the MT-07, the younger brother of this headlight. And I think it's orange or something like that. A nice bike, but that single headlight, man, that's a turnoff. Then the other one, I think it was the same color as mine. I think they call this the Raven. And other than that, I don't really see them often. I know they're out there, obviously. If they weren't out there, they weren't getting sold, they wouldn't keep bringing the bike back, right? Another big thing that people really complain about on this bike is the suspension. And yes and no. The suspension out of the box, sucks, right? However, I have, and I'm still currently doing that, I am adjusting my forks, because I don't know when they started giving you the fork adjustments. However, my 2020 has that. I can, do my rebound and all that. So I've been slowly adjusting, trying to get it better. People complain that it's real squishy in the corners, or pogo-y, I should say. And it is. Out of the box, it is. You gotta adjust your suspension. I am roughly 200 pounds, and I have no problems with it. So if you are going to do commuting, long commuting, on the freeways, whatever, just doing straight, I don't know, this isn't the bike. The reason being is that wind on your chest. Once you get this thing to about 100 miles an hour, or at least here in the state of Washington, it's pretty windy all the time. So like, once you get this thing to about 100 miles an hour, you are squeezing and just holding on to this bike as tight as you can, and it's quite the ride. You can put windscreens on it. I do see some people, they put like windscreens on them and cross country them and shit like that. But honestly, guys, there's not much. Oh, I just spit all over the inside of my helmet. That was attractive. There's not much about this bike that I dislike. I do have to say though, just like any other motorcycle, when you get this thing, they're gonna give you, oh, what are they? They're like stock, for the tires, they're like stock battle axes, I think. Absolutely junk of a tire. When I first got the bike, I just used those tires. They're brand new tires, right? Why would I go and spend money on tires? I was not confident with those tires. It took forever to build heat. I had a couple small little like tail wags, you know, the ass end kind of slid a little bit here and there in a couple spots on a couple rides. Keep in mind, the tires were broken at that time when those happened. And finally, I think I just like hit a nail, and I could have got the tire patch, which I actually did get the tire patch, and I have them as backup tires. But and I just went and I got the Michelin Power 5s, and holy cow, I love these tires, guys. And it woke the bike up. I have way more confidence in the bike. I can, you know, really get into those corners the way, you know, with confidence. The other tires, just not so much. So if you do buy this bike, just consider that. Just remember that those tires suck. Unless there's already, like, maybe a different tire that's on them. I don't know. But I had the stock, like, battle axes. I can't remember what kind they were or whatever. I don't know. I think honestly what I enjoy the most though about riding a bike like this is it just looks so aggressive. You know, everything I wear, I know I shouldn't, but everything I wear is pretty much black. I do have reflective stuff that I wear, but you know, so it looks like super aggressive, and you don't really get fucked with a lot by like car drivers, just because it just kind of looks aggressive. Like, I don't really want to fuck with that guy. And you don't really fit in. Like, I don't fit in with sport bike guys. I don't really fit in with the cruiser guys. I don't fit in with supermoto guys. I don't fit in with any of it. And you know what? I absolutely love that. I love the fact that I'm different. Every time I roll anywhere with the bike, if I'm going on a ride, it doesn't matter what the group is that I'm going on a ride with. Let's see, not that way. I think I had to go straight. I'm the different, you know, I'm kind of the odd duck. I'm the black sheep out of the group. And you know what? That draws a lot of attention in the way too, because everybody wants to come over and look at the bike. And it's really funny because I have some buddies that have, you know, a couple Harleys. So sometimes we go to the Harley shop, right? And the Harley shop that I go to, they go to, and I go with them. They have like the motorcycle parking out front, right? So I whip in there and I park this thing next to all the Harleys, and you get all those people. They look over at the bike and they want to check it out, but the Harley mindset is, oh, it ain't a Harley, it ain't nothing. It's got to be a Harley, blah, 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 blah. And they don't want to be caught looking at, you know, a Yamaha, you know. But they still are curious, and they want to look at the thing because it's, in my opinion, very pleasing to look at. But it's kind of funny. So, pretty much in a conclusion, I absolutely love this bike. And if anybody's thinking about getting this bike, oh, hang on. Is anybody thinking about getting this bike that has experience on bikes already? I 100% recommend this bike. The engine is bulletproof. The upright seating position for me, I have a bad back, so like the sport bikes, the hunched over sport bikes, is a no-go for me, right? So the upright seating position, you know, is super comfortable to me. And I've done longer rides. I shouldn't say like full day rides, you know, 300-400 miles. You know, I've done full weekend trips where I'm, you know, doing 200-300 miles a day, and not a problem for me at all. You know, I got this comfort seat. There's multiple choices of comfort seats you can get for this. How, like, mine is one of the cheaper ones. It's like the Yamaha comfort seat. Oh, how much was it? I think it was like $200 or something like that. I could be wrong. You can get more expensive ones. You can get, you know, hand guards. You can get all sorts of different mirrors. Really just make it the way you want. And that's what I love about this bike in particular, because there's so much aftermarket parts out there. There's so much stuff. Another thing I recommend too is if you're looking at a 2020 and you happen to find a 2019, maybe like lightly used, a lot cheaper than what a brand new 2020 is, I mean, go for it. There's really nothing that's different between the bikes at all. They're exact same, pretty much. And if anybody knows if there's anything that has changed in those years, like the 19 to the 20, comment below. Just let me know, because I don't know what has changed. So with that being said, guys, thanks for jumping in, checking out the video. Make sure if you happen to want to keep watching my videos, man, do a like and subscribe. You know that I'm not really going for a bunch of likes and subscribes. I just do these videos because I think they're fun. And yeah, I absolutely love the MT-09. I recommend it to anybody that has experience. If you do not have experience on a motorcycle whatsoever, do not buy this bike. I'm just gonna leave it there, you know. So I hope all of you have a great day, have a great week, and try to stay positive.